Hey there, Minnesota Vikings fans. You are listening to the Purple People podcast. This is episode number 222. Bye week show. I'm Kyle West. I'm accompanied by Kyle Smith. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm bored, man. We didn't play this weekend. What the hell?
It's a long week with no Vikings football, and I always get just like really anxious when it's Sunday and I should be watching the Vikings and they're not on TV, and I just don't know what to do with myself.
For all of you regular NFL fans along with diehard Viking loving fans, you ever notice the weeks we don't play, the NFL goes to complete and total butt that whole weekend? The Steelers lost to the Dolphins, and the Broncos lost to the Chargers. The Panthers are 1-5. I blame the Vikings not playing. We just needed that quality team out there somewhere. Just winning again.
I'm doing a mini rant to start the show.
Yes.
We rarely do a mini rants before we even get into quick hits, but since this is kind of our play around bye week show a little bit, I feel like we can do that. I'm going to rant about everyone who, all the Vikings fans who were on social media and Facebook who were like, I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan, but, or I'm not a New England Patriots fan, but,
yeah.
no, I'm not cheering for any other team. I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. Don't get me wrong, I'll watch other games. It's fun, it's entertaining. I'm a football fan. But I'm not putting on a Cowboys cap and gown or any of this other crap. I'm a Vikings fan, so.
I agree.
Shout
out to one of my hometown friends, one of my longtown friends, Celia Farmer. She's a diehard Panther fan, so to speak, but she also likes the Cowboys. Hi, Bodsley. You going to say hello to everybody? My working dog is here with me.
Yeah,
there's a space.
I don't know. We ever had him on the show before?
Oh, Bodsley, come here, man. Come here. Say hi. Say you look good in your Teddy Bridgewater jersey last year, man.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be all up in the shot. So, basically, she's a Carolina Panthers fan. She's from Charlotte like we all are. But also she likes the Cowboys. And I said, you can't have two teams. It's not fair. You're not a real football fan. So I get it. I totally watched the games. I watched the Sunday night game. I watched the game last night because I'm just a football fiend. But see what I'm wearing? This is the only thing that's going to be on my body. So
yeah. Yep.
I get it. You get bored on the bye week. You want to see some kind of football, and it was an interesting weekend. But forget all those other teams. We got a weird show, even though it's a bye week. We got a lot of great stuff.
Let's give a shout out to some people we got in the chat room right now.
Yeah,
we got some regulars with us. We got Johnny Green, we got Tommy Gunn, and we got Dorian Foley all with us in the chat.
My man Dorian. So you guys, I'm gonna start this live thing up real quick. I'm gonna hit the mute button, and then I can be in the chat with you guys. Tommy Gunn's already hitting on the stuff that I like, so that's good. I'm saying that I like that. I'm going to talk about here shortly, but what's up, you three guys? Hopefully get some more people in the chat, but we always have the faithfuls in here. I love it.
See, I'm okay with some bandwagon fans a little bit because if they stick with the team, long term, then they just become regular fans. People come on to a sports franchise at some point if you're not directly born in the area, and the more Vikings fans, the better. If you're going to stick with us long term, I welcome them on to the team. If they're what I am, and if they're one and done after this season, whatever. That's no real skin off my teeth either. It's annoying. I get it. It was annoying in 2009. When Favre came here, and I went from being the only Vikings fan in town to everyone was in purple. And then in 2010, when we didn't do so hot, I was the only Vikings fan in town again. So I get it. That's annoying. But at the end of the day, I know where my heart lies with the team. So
hey, if you want to look at it from a paper logical standpoint, I am one of those guys. But I stuck around, and I'm not going anywhere. And since the 2009 season until now, we've had, 3 good seasons out of the last however many years. I know that 3-13 pain. I get it. I understand. I know the last year, the field goal incident. I get it. So all the faithfuls, man, we're right here with you. But let's go into these.
I think we got a quick hit about Stephon Diggs, Eric in the chat. I think we got something coming up on Diggsy, don't we?
Yeah, I was trying to talk about it earlier, but as of yesterday, now obviously this is Tuesday. Yesterday, he did go out. He did stretch with the team. I have no update on the status today, but he did not practice yesterday, which is kind of concerning considering he's had a whole week to rest. But, I mean, let's look at it now. You have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday before the game, and he'll probably be a game-time decision. Right now, I believe he was questionable. So, and I think they got rid of doubtful or whatever for the staff.
Yeah, they got rid of the arbitrary one that didn't really make any sense.
Yeah. Johnny Green says once we win the Super Bowl, this channel is going to grow. You're damn right we are. There's every year. It feels like this might be the one, man. I'm telling you. But before
now, let's get on to some quick.
Yeah, I was about to say, before we get into any of the players and any of that craziness, we have negative news to talk about. And knock on wood, we won't have to talk about this anymore. And Adam always hits on it too. We like high character guys, no matter coaches, players, staff members, whatever on the team. So let's jump right into the negative hits of the week so we get on with the positive stuff. Isame Fasciane, the practice squad offensive lineman, has been released as of today, Tuesday, October 18th, for the Vikings. He was charged with DWI, and I'm going to read a little bit about that. Today, obviously I said 18th of October, he was on the practice squad offensive lineman. He was pulled over at 2:33 a.m. last Wednesday in St. Louis. He was charged with a 4th-degree DWI and without his Minnesota driver's license. So you guys know this is a no-nonsense football team. Zimmer, Spielman don't really put up with that kind of stuff. So he was not at practice Monday, and they said that yesterday Mike Zimmer said they were going to get more information, but he was released as of today for one of the official statements. So it sucks, man. I wish him well. You know, we all make mistakes, but it's kind of careless. So you gotta be smarter than that, man. You can't drive without a license either. That's not going to help you.
That's the difference between being a practice squad guy and Adrian Peterson. I mean, life isn't fair, and that's just like no tolerance policy with some of the lower tier guys like that. So yeah, I really honestly I don't think it was fair. Not that I'm condoning DWIs or anything like that, but we do know that these are young kids that are right out of college, and you know, stuff like that happens, and they're not always, you know, sometimes football players are coddled. They're not always used to making the greatest of decisions, but as is life, it is not fair, and yeah, you know, not everyone gets the superstar treatment on the team.
I want to give a shout out to Tommy Gunn. I finally manned up and decided to be sort of up to tune with technology, and I'm looking at Tommy Gunn's comment. We were talking about quality, and he goes, "You want quality? Like the Packers being at 3-2, that's quality. That's awesome." They look like crap right now. I'll take it. On to the other negative news, and then we'll go into the positive stuff. Not only was Isame Fasciane charged, but we found out today, months later, as in from May 21st to now, George Edwards, defensive coordinator for the Vikings, was charged with 3 misdemeanors and a DWI. Edwards blew a .11. The legal limit is .08, so he was only 0.3 over. But this is back on May 21st. The team disciplined Edwards with a $1,000 fine. He was also mandated to attend a Mothers Against Drunk Driving course, along with a chemical dependency test that same day. This news broke today. My ESPN app went off, and I'm sure some went on your phone. I immediately started doing research, because none of us knew about this. And if you guys knew about this before, you must have somebody on the inside, because we would have definitely recovered it. I know Adam is like our source for all kinds of in-depth, you know, factoids and stuff. I can't believe this came out today. I can't believe they're just trying to push this along because one of our guys got a DUI, and now we're going to say this. I think they mishandled the hell out of this. I think this is crap. $1,000 fine. Are you kidding me? And you get to take a class? Like, could you get off any easier? And the best part about the whole thing is the NFL is not going to pursue any more punishment. So totally mishandled. I'm really disappointed with the upper echelon with that. He should have gotten a hefty fine, maybe even miss a game or two for that, because you've got to set an example for these players, you know.
It's interesting to see the difference between a practice squad guy that's not on the team.
It's complete crap.
Yeah, and, you know, you see how that was handled versus the defensive coordinator, like you said, who got off really light, and they kept this under the wraps. I don't know whether or not that was the Vikings PR or what it was, but yeah, you know, this was months ago, and we are just now hearing about it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, people make mistakes. Whatever. It happens. You don't expect it from a coach, though.
No,
and that's what I think
the
is
worst part about it. You,
yeah.
the example, you're the intermediate chain of the command between the upper echelon who completely runs everything, whether you want it to be or not, versus the player on the field, the product. You know, people watch the coaches. Some people fall in love with the coaches like we fell in love with Zimmer, but the players are what you watch. And I'm just thinking it like, what? How do you let someone go with that? I understand that it wasn't by much, but if you cross that line, no matter if you jump a mile or 3 feet, you need to have some discipline. And I know the Air Force teaches the progressive discipline stuff. You know, if somebody steals a piece of candy, you don't want to charge them with murder. I get that, but there's just a standard, and I really think that it's crazy that a player, like you said too, and we can tie that in with the Adrian Peterson stuff, that he didn't even stand a chance because he's not a well-known guy. And you know, Adrian Peterson's case comes out. It's pretty horrific on some people's points of view and standards. And he's still on the team getting paid $12 million, you know. And we don't have to get into that. Just wanted you guys to know that Simon Festiane is off the team.
Every time Adam's off the show, we find ways to talk about Adrian Peterson.
Every single
even if he's not in the quick hits.
With you guys for over 140 episodes now, and every time me and you host the show, AP gets brought up something.
Adrian gets brought up. I wonder if the team, and then we can move on. We can talk about fun stuff. This is my last point. I wonder if the players even knew about this. Because if they were able to keep this out of the media, it wasn't on Sports Center, it wasn't on NFL Network until just now. And I doubt that NFL Network is even reporting on it, other than the article that got wrote. I wonder if the players on the team even knew about it. I doubt it.
I don't think so.
I really,
there's no way
really doubt
it. It's hard to defend this, especially with the instances I've seen in my workplace. When something like this happens, it's hard to keep your people in line as far as you know, them wanting to have an outcry about it, and they damn well should. I would definitely say this is fair.
Eric made an excellent point in the chat. The NFL Players Association does have the Free Safe Rides program for players and coaches. If they are in a situation, they're at a nightclub, they're at a party, whatever, they've had too much, and they can call and they can get a free ride home. I'm assuming
even the practice squad guys make like $70 or $80 a year. Get a freaking
fucking call Uber.
Get a cab. Do something, man. It's just
Uber yourself home.
It's selfish, man. Tommy Gunn also points out, dude, Tommy's just everywhere, man. We love you, dude. Punitive punishments are same across the board, regardless of income. You don't get to charge Mr. Blue Collar different than Mr. NFL Rep. Dude, I wish, man. I agree. Tommy also has a fun stat, and we'll just transition this out of the negative stuff because we had to talk about it. We shared the opinions. I don't like to dwell on it too much because we're in a positive state as far as the team and winning is concerned.
We're 5-0.
Only the Vikings, the Eagles, Seahawks, and Pats have allowed less than 100 points so far. So we're among the elite, man. I'm telling you, we're finally up there. Speaking of Asami Fasiane being released, the Vikings re-signed cornerback Trey Robertson to the practice squad, and this will be his 4th stint with the team. So lose a body, pick up a body. Good luck to you, Trey. We can always use a corner. You know Mike Zimmer loves his corner, so I'm not surprised to see a cornerback being on there.
What was that quote? He can find a cover 2 corner in a 7-Eleven.
I want that on a T-shirt right now.
Oh, that is my favorite Mike Zimmer. Well, he's got a lot of really good quotes, but that one is towards the top.
Don't whine about the labor. Show me the baby. That's this dude, man. He could write a whole book of one-liners, man. He's good.
Oh, jeez.
I'll let you take that last one, man. You did take credit and add that in.
Okay. Quarterback Taylor Heinicke is expected to return to practice on Wednesday. You guys remember Taylor Heinicke, don't you? He's the one who put his foot through a door before the season started.
That's it.
Yeah, he is close to coming back, as you can tell. Although when he is ready to come back, if they do decide to promote him to the active roster, that means they're going to have to do some shuffling around. So you enter a situation where it's potentially, do you want to keep 3 quarterbacks or do you want to continue to roll with 2 quarterbacks? And if you want to roll with 2 quarterbacks, do you like Taylor Heinicke more than you like Sean Hill? And you can say this, that, or the other thing about Sean Hill. One of the team's 5 wins did come with Sean Hill under center this season. So do you want to get rid of him in case Sam Bradford goes down? And then you have the unknown. We like Taylor. I like Taylor. We all like Taylor. But he has never played an NFL down outside of preseason, and preseason don't count for shits or giggles. So you don't know really what you have in him. So it's an interesting little situation coming up. Because there's also, you got to look at this too, if they were to try to release him, say to sign him on the practice squad, I don't know if they can do that. Mysterious rules out there for that. There are other teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then Roethlisberger gets hurt. You look at the Cleveland Browns; they're on Lord knows they're on Lord knows who at quarterback. So there are needy teams out there that will be looking to sign him. So it's not like you could stash him unless they were to place him on like extended IR, which make it the team in trouble because he's not really hurt at this point. I don't know. It's an interesting little scenario to look out for.
Tommy says, buy Trey Robertson and Taylor to the practice squad. It's a very good possibility. I don't know how that works with him being on I don't know if he was on IR or he was just stashed away. And you're right. All these players that are down and all the quarterbacks across the league they need, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't think he'll be signed to anything more than a practice squad. You got to remember, we can talk about this so we're blue in the face in the offseason, but it's going to be Teddy and Sam Bradford battling it out. I think we've seen Sean Hill's last year as a Viking as much as he's done when he's been asked to do. So I don't know where Taylor Heinicke is going to fit in there unless we keep three quarterbacks because Sean Hill's getting old. But maybe –
And right. And I know you're kind of maybe saying you're going to tempt fate a little bit with quarterbacks, but I would say the chances Cleveland aside, the chances of losing another year are probably pretty slim. But just based on kind of the depth elsewhere in the team, I'm not really comfortable with cutting, any other position on this team to make room for an inactive third quarterback for the rest of the season.
Yes. Yeah. No doubt about that. Totally.
Yeah. So I like Taylor, but I've liked other, I was a big McLeod Bethel Thompson fan. And I guess if they try to sign him on the practice squad and, like, say Cleveland was to pick him up, yeah, it stinks and it sucks. But for the team right now in 2016, we don't immediately need Taylor Heinicke, like, active on game days for us.
Right. I wanted to ask everybody in the chat because I'm seeing this now. Are you guys seeing Kyle's video? Because I'm only seeing myself while you're talking, and I'm hoping that's not the thing right now. Hoping that we can see you because I can hear you fine, and it says we're live. But
you guys still got audio?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine,
okay.
Man. It just looks like I'm talking to myself on here, which I don't want to scare everyone away for it just being for however long we're on here. So if you guys are in the chat and you hear this, let us know in the chat if you can see Kyle's video and hear his audio. Jumping into the main topic of the week, and I'm going to tie this in with how we've done so far. The next 4 games, we're going to talk about what you guys think about how we've done so far. Obviously, it's going to be really good because we're undefeated. I'm going to give you the next stretch of games, and then we can kind of jump into that. We are on the road 3 out of the next 4 games, and that's going to be a test. Eric Spink says it's only the one screen. Somebody says they can't see my video. All right, cool. We're just all jacked up. Well, thank you guys for being here anyways. We're going to power through this, and hopefully we figure it out. But I
don't know what that – I just clicked on a thing, and I don't know what that means.
We'll see if it fixes.
I'll turn it back on.
It says no longer presenting. Try what you did again, and I'll keep talking, and we'll keep the show rolling. So we have 3 of the next 4 games on the road. We're going to the Eagles the following Sunday, this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Week 8, October 31st, as a Monday night game in Chicago, which will be fun because they're pretty terrible, and I hope we win that game. The next Sunday, November 6th, 1 o'clock, the Lions come to the Vikings. And then the next week at Sunday at 1 on November 13th, we go to the Redskins. So 3 out of 4 are on the road. I don't like any road game ever, but it's fun to beat people in their house, which we've done a couple times this year. The Eagles are obviously the hardest team out of this stretch because of where they've been. I know they've dropped 2 straight. I wouldn't sleep on this team at all. I know I say it every week. I probably get blue in the face, and people think I'm boring for saying that. But this was a team that started out hot. Their quarterback looks good. You obviously know that I won't say they didn't believe in Sam Bradford, but they knew what they had in Carson Wentz. He's been as advertised and as the number 2 pick. And he's been very, very good to be so young in his career. So the Eagles are going to be a tough test. I'm not really worried about the Bears. They're a dumpster fire. Brian Hoyer's an upgrade from Jay Cutler, but their defense is crap, and Kevin White's done for the year. So they don't have a lot of options, and they got rid of Matt Forte. They don't really scare me, but it is prime time. It is a road game. Obviously, I want the Vikings to do well. But I like the Lions game for us because we're at home. We always seem to frustrate Matt Stafford. Given like 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs, every other year we usually either split or beat them, sweep them in the division. And then we have the Redskins. They're a question mark for me. You know, some weeks they bring it, some weeks they look like crap. I don't believe in Kirk Cousins, but that's just to give you guys a preview of the next quarter that's coming up for the team. So be prepared to see some road games. So we do have a primetime game yet again, Monday on Halloween against the Bears, which is going to be awesome. But what do you think, man? Let's open it up to the chat. Let's open it to you. I've been talking forever. What do you think about the 5-0 start? What's your favorite thing from it? What's your least favorite thing from it? And what do you have to say about it?
The 5-0 start is I'm a surprising start for this team. Considering that Teddy Bridgewater went down, Adrian Peterson goes down, we trade for Sam Bradford. After Teddy went down, if you told me we'd win 5 games this year, I'd be like, sure, like spread out over the course of the entire season. Like 5 games would be what we'd win. I'd be like, well, without our quarterback, yeah, that would be, maybe about right. So the fact that we've won 5 in a row without him against some tough opponents, you can knock Green Bay, but Green Bay is still Aaron Rodgers, and Carolina is still Cam Newton, and there's still some tough opponents there. I'm really excited with how the team is playing right now. I think this is one of the best defenses that we've had in a long, long time here in Minnesota, and we're at the point in the season where they should start getting better as well too, because now they've had some games under their belt. They've had a week off. They're going to be coming back, and they're going to be playing. They should be playing at a higher level. I think looking forward, don't sleep on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's our week off. We should be rested, but sometimes games after a bye week can sneak up on a team. And you're looking at a really good Philly team that has lost 2 in a row now. So they're going to be hungry. They're going to be looking for a win. They're going to be looking for a statement game because Minnesota is the only undefeated team left in the NFL. So if they can knock us off, give us our first loss of the season, that is a definite statement for the Eagles. On the flip side, Sam Bradford's looking to make a statement as well, too. Because this is the team that shit on him and traded him and didn't want him and drafted his replacement. And so, of course, I think he's going to take this personally and want to play his best game, maybe of the year for him personally, could be coming up against the Eagles. I look forward to seeing that. Otherwise, like you said, I never want to sleep on divisional opponents, but Chicago was horrible. I'm not really too worried about Chicago. I'm never too worried about Detroit. Matthew Stafford can throw for 600 yards, and they can still find a way to lose the game because that's just what Detroit does.
Well, I feel almost terrible for the Lions fans as I did when we were doing so bad.
Yeah. Games that I'm really looking forward to coming up, the Philadelphia game. I'm looking forward to the Cowboys game on December 1st because, hey, I like what the Cowboys are doing with Dak Prescott, and I think they should keep him in at quarterback. I like the young running back that they have as well, too. What's his name? Elliott? Is he?
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott, man.
Ezekiel Elliott.
He came as advertised.
Yep.
He's proven to be worth that high draft pick, and it's crazy, man. That's going to be a fun game. I'm really glad it's in Minnesota because they're playing a lot of good ball. They did what teams should try to do more of, which is play to the strengths of your players instead of making your players learn a certain system and see if they pan out, you know. And that's just my opinion, but I don't want to talk about the Cowboys. Let me talk about this 5-0 start real quick.
Yeah.
If you told me that we would lose AP, Matt Khalil, and Teddy Bridgewater, I would tell you that we would win 2 games this year, both against either the Lions or the Bears at home. I'm telling you right now, before we came in the season, I had a schedule set out, and I won't show it to you guys because I want to see how it pans out for the rest of the year. I had a splitting at best with Green Bay and Carolina, and we owned Carolina. We came out, I wouldn't say by the skin of our teeth. It was a close game, but we beat Green Bay. We beat up on Aaron Rodgers like we used to do a lot of. I just can't believe how well this team just keeps on playing because they have every reason to hang their head low, and Zimmer just says, I won't accept that. You're better than that. So I love the attitude. I love the swagger as much as I hate that word. It's this aura about this team that says, fine, we have enough depth. We have enough people on this team who want to come out and kick you straight in the face, and we're going to do that. And you're going to have to kick us harder if you're going to beat us. And I don't want this to come off as that I don't believe in this team, but I am a realist, and you guys know that with some of the things I've said about AP and Cordero Patterson, and even the things I've said as of recent about Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Bradford's situation. I believe this Vikings team will be this year's Carolina Panthers team, and I don't say that because I think we're going to go to the Super Bowl and lose. I don't know what's going to happen, and I certainly don't want that to happen. But our schedule is very favorable now that we've gone this far and done this well. There's a lot of teams that we look on paper and we know we can beat. We just have to do it. There are going to be some tough ones. I think we're going to have a shocking loss at some point. I don't know if it's going to be in the next 4 weeks. I think it's going to be against a team that we know we could have beaten, but we might beat ourselves. But there is absolutely no reason. Bold statement of the day.
Missed field goal.
What's that?
It'll come down to a missed field goal.
Yeah, but yeah, probably, and that's going to piss us all off.
Yeah.
Whatever, but bold statement of the day. There's no reason why this team can't go 14-2 and be the number 1 seed in the NFC. No reason. If you're going to play this well, this early, this often, and this defense keeps doing whatever it's doing to just hurt people, and the offense, like you said, my favorite thing you said earlier was that they're just going to get better. Sam Bradford's just going to get more comfortable. As long as our guys stay healthy and we're not on our 7th, 8th, and 9th wide receiver and signing people on the practice squad, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. You don't have to score 35 points every day.
Here's the thing that I was just looking at the schedule moving forward because I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm going to be a realist too. We're not going to go undefeated. I mean, I really don't.
I doubt it, and I don't want it to.
Yeah, and you know what? That's not a knock on the team. I'm just saying that, hey, it's incredibly difficult to go undefeated. What we do have on our side is that for the tough games coming up, the Cowboys in U.S. Bank Stadium. So the Cowboys are, they're a good team, a tough opponent, but they're coming to our house. And this is not the Metrodome. We have a true home field advantage going for us here at U.S. Bank Stadium. So that can neutralize a little bit of an opponent. You take, Dak Prescott, and he's still a rookie. And this is going to be later in the season. He's going to be a little banged up. Maybe things aren't 100% going their way at that point. The crowd can totally play a factor into that and get him off his game.
That's why I think we'll beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, not only because I think our defense can take it, but these are rookie quarterbacks, and I know Mike Zimmer will find ways to frustrate them. If you can frustrate Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, and Eli Manning 3 weeks in a row and make them look pedestrian, as long as your defense can keep producing. Now, the Cowboys is an interesting game, and I'm liking Tommy Gunn in the chat. All the NFC East games, he's doing some Linkin Park lyrics. It's pretty funny. As long as we can figure out a way to get past that tough offensive line and slow down Zeke Elliott, I mean, this might be the matchup of the year as far as the schedule because they look to be like on a roll. It all depends on what old jury decides to do at quarterback. I think he's an idiot if he doesn't keep rolling with Dak Prescott, but you know how he is, man. I think I was told tonight Tony Romo was marrying his niece or something like that. I don't know. So, I mean, all the writing on the wall is there for Tony to come back, but we've got an interesting set of games coming up, and it wasn't the games that I thought were going to be interesting at all. We said we were going to play the Eagles. I was like, okay, they're trash. The Cowboys are 8-8 again, and it's not. It's not that way, and I like that. I don't have to go into a game and know what's going to happen. It's actually interesting to watch every week. So it's really
I see one of the questions here. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. I'm just getting caught up on some of the stuff here in the chat. For Jake Long, I think that you'll see him this week against the Eagles, and I think you'll see him at left tackle, and I think you'll see TJ Clemmings at right tackle this week.
It would be nice, man. You got to think about it. If it works out, and that's a big if, just like the Sam Bradford trade, if it works out. He's a former number 1 overall pick, isn't he? Jake Long?
Yeah, he was number 1.
I mean, he played with Sam. Obviously, he was after when Sam came in the draft. Sam was number 1, but it's crazy to think about the people that we have on this team, man. Where there was obviously not every number 1 pick, pans out, but geez, man, there's a lot of depth on this team. They're in prime position to capitalize. So we'll see, man. Interesting comment from Johnny Green, and I told him we absolutely do. So do you guys think we need Sharif Floyd? I know why you asked that and you said that because he hasn't been playing. We've been doing so well. We absolutely need him. We said this, and this only affirms what we've been saying before. Tom Johnson is a starting defensive tackle somewhere else. So it's Linval and Sharif, and then you have our 2 crazy defensive ends. But when Sharif comes back, he'll be playing. It's just I hate to say it, man. He's injury prone, but when he's on the field, he's a damn good player. He's Pro Bowl level if he plays 16 games in a row. But unfortunately, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't keep him. He's a very good player. He was a number 1 pick, and he's played up to par when he's been on the field. That's just his only knock. Sean Reynolds says Jeremiah Searles is playing well at right tackle, better than TJ. I agree. He's only had, 2 starts there? But I'm not knocking TJ Clemmings. He's not playing terrible. He's just you're really surprised to see guys at that position on the depth chart playing at a higher level. But TJ hasn't had an ideal situation since he came here. I mean, he got thrust into it last year. He thought Big Phil was going to take his job back. He didn't. So I'm sure he was up and down wondering if it was going to be his time or not. I'm not giving him an excuse, but God, man, this chat is awesome. Boom to tackle from Tommy Gunn. Oh, God. I don't know about that. I mean, the man could probably do whatever he wants, but God, man, we do. You think about this line, too, for all the crap that got talked about it and how everybody's been dropping. They've been playing pretty well in the past for pass protection in the past game. Obviously, we're not doing as well in the run game as we want, but do we really need to do that anymore? I feel like that can be a social media question. Do we really need the running attack that we needed before? Let's save that for later.
I think that's a good social media question. I think we could – I think you can answer that right now. I don't think that we need a 2,000-yard running back in Adrian Peterson for this offense to succeed. We're better off because that makes you one-dimensional, and we're getting to a point with Bradford where you don't quite know what they're going to do on offense, and that's a good thing.
I think balance is the key word, and you can be multidimensional even though the running game isn't crazy off the boards every week like it used to be. It's still there in a smaller form. The passing game, it's done that tilt from run heavy to pass light, and now it's in the middle because we have somebody. This isn't me shitting on Teddy. This isn't me saying he's not competent. You just have someone who's filling in right now, maybe for the future, who knows how to do what he's asked correctly and in a good way. I mean, we couldn't have gotten any luckier so far with that trade and how it's worked out.
I think I finally fixed my camera to where it will jump back and forth between us.
It did, man. I've been seeing you here.
Yeah, and I literally have no idea what was wrong with it.
Hey,
I just started clicking on things up here over to the side. Oh, hey. Hi, everyone. I'm back.
Oh, my gosh. If Johnny Green, that's the question of the day. If we still had our first-round pick, what position do you think we would target? Offensive line?
Yep, offensive line or safety.
100%. It would be the non-sexiest pick in the world. Shout out to Adam Carlson for giving the offensive line love whenever we don't. There's no way with Phil Lodeholt magically calling it quits and then having to bring in Alex Boone and Matt Khalil injury. I mean, there's no way we wouldn't take that as a serious option. That's just my personal opinion.
It's bye week, so we're allowed to speculate and look forward.
Yeah, you know what? We only played 5 games. Let's talk about the draft. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Why not, man?
There's no way we don't go left tackle. I know we don't have a first-round draft pick because we gave it up to get Sam Bradford, but there's no way we are not addressing left tackle in the offseason.
Yeah. You can find good linemen. You can find good linemen in the second round. I'm sure that will be an option that we go to. And that's something that we asked in the social media question about Laquan Treadwell and how you feel. And you guys feel free to go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Purple People Podcast. I asked it tonight as the show was starting. We're not going to go over a bye week social media question. We're going to wait for next week so we can have the show because we had kind of rants to go on tonight. So that's why we're not choosing to do one tonight from last week. But do you like how the Vikings are handling the situation with Laquan Treadwell and Mackenzie Alexander? A lot of people have been asking, with Stephon Diggs being out, why is Laquan Treadwell not on the field? And then you have Cordero Patterson just coming out and saying, hey, man, I'll pick up the slack. And he's been doing a damn good job this year. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see what people think about that. I have my personal opinions and beliefs, and I'm going to stick by them. But if you can give me a different perspective on why you think he should be out there, feel free, man. Shoot it on the comment. I just put it up earlier, so it should be one of the top posts on our Facebook page.
I like this comment from Eric in the chat. Offense will be scary if Patterson keeps it up. He breaks a big play via run or pass or kick return soon. I know it's coming. I agree with you, sir. I think that Cordero Patterson is really super close to breaking a big play for this team, and you are seeing his confidence finally start to build and match what we've seen in his rookie year, his best year with the Vikings. And you're seeing him make some tough catches where he's fighting for yards and going up and snatching the football as well as some of the gadget plays. So I really like what we're seeing from Patterson. I hope he keeps it up.
I think he will. I didn't quote me on this, and I believe it. And if he proves me wrong, even better, and I hope he does. He's not going to have a Pro Bowl year. I think the only receiving candidate this year that might have a Pro Bowl year is Kyle Rudolph. Maybe Stephon if he can play the rest of the year. But Cordero is going to do enough to keep his job 100% because what he's doing isn't going to be Pro Bowl worthy for the wide receiver position. But like you said, he's already made it once as a returner to the Pro Bowl. But what he brings now in every facet of the game, that's the kind of players that we love and we look for, and he's doing it well. We have to talk about this, and I just can't get over this, man. This is so funny. Tommy Gunn says, first pick, skill player, next 7 picks, offensive line. Dude, do it. Go for it. One of them will make the team. It's just a percentage chance we do it. From Eric Spink. So this is hilarious if you guys haven't seen it. The Vikings trolled Fox Sports for the crappy Photoshop of Sammy Bridgeford. You're out there, and I don't know what the hell the stat was because I was just staring at it. But it's one of the ones with Teddy going back like this, and he's kind of turned 2 white gloves, and there's only one quarterback that we know of that wears 2 gloves.
It was clearly Teddy. It was clearly Teddy.
Even the body looks like him. And I don't know if they photoshopped the rest of the 5 to look at an 8, but it looked like a really crappy 8. And then it's just Sam Bradford's head, and it's the worst Photoshop job ever. And I see this all the time on social media sites. Like, all these guys that run, they'll have a spelling error, and they just get annihilated for it. And rightfully so. Like, you have one freaking job. But the guys are talking about that. The Photoshop of Sam Bradford's head on Teddy Bridgewater's body. Oh my God, it was so troll worthy and so hilarious. You guys got to check that out. It's like the first time your parents get on and learn how to use paint and they just start cropping photos together. It's amazing.
I don't even have Photoshop because I'm poor, but I could do a better job with my photo editing software than what Fox did with that one. Or, you could just use an actual Bradford. Like, you're aware that he's a guy that exists.
He's been on the team since this end of the year.
Been on the team. You got photos. Go for him.
Sean Reynolds makes a good comment. We were talking earlier about wide receivers. Nobody saw the emergence of Thielen. Bring Treadwell along slowly. Depth at wide receiver with Patterson is emerging too. I 100% agree with you, Sean. Adam Thielen's probably the most underrated player, of my opinion, on the team. Nobody knew about him. We see the work he does on special teams. He did the trick play last year against Green Bay. It was early in the game, and we did a fake punt.
Favorite plays
for like 40-some yards. I mean, he's a monster when you need him to be. He's not going to put up super big numbers all the time, shout out to him for this last game. I think he had like 120-something yards and a touchdown.
Mhm.
But it just shows you the kind of people that we have dependent on it, and that's the whole team concept that we've been doing the whole year is don't worry about your individual stats. They'll come. Can you buy into the team effort? And that's what he did, and he's been doing since he's been here. He's a monster, man. I love having a guy like that on the team. Maybe he'll end up getting a contract out of it, a decent contract. But, yeah, bring Treadwell along slowly. Agree 100%. We did it with Trey Waynes last year. He ended up playing and making a good play in the playoff game. And now he's looking pretty good. I mean, he's still got tendencies he's got to break out of, but he looks like a solid corner and a solid pick. I agree with Treadwell. Let him learn the playbook. Let him get his time, and it's going to make him more hungry, just like Diggs last year, not playing until week 4. When he gets that chance to play, he'll perform. He had a great play last time he played against the Texans in special teams, making a key block for Marcus Sherrill. So he's getting it. Just give him time, man. We have other people who can make plays now. It's not a rush to get him in there.
You want to teach these guys proper technique and get their confidence up before you get them on the field. And
Yeah.
I think that's what Mike Zimmer understands. You look at someone, well, let's pick on Christian Ponder here for a minute. I understand the situation that he was put into forced him to play probably before he was ready. But, if Ponder could have sat for a couple years and been able to work on technique and learn how to read NFL defenses and get his confidence up and other things, well, you never know what could have happened. So
Yeah,
that's why I'm okay. I'm okay with how they're using Treadwell or not using Treadwell. Charles Johnson is kind of quiet right now. I still don't quite know what to make of it. I expected a little bit more of Charles Johnson this year as well, too.
I don't think it's not because he's not a deep threat. I just don't think he's getting open as often as these other guys. He has a problem getting open, but when he does, he can make the deep threat. I mean, look at the preseason game against the Bengals, and I forget, was it against the Giants? He had a couple of long catches. He only got 3 catches, but there was like 70-some yards. I get it. Tommy Gunn says, last week was Thielen's week, next week is Patterson's week. Dude, I hope so. I hope Diggs gets back in the mix, man. Let's just do a merry-go-round. Every week somebody has a breakout week. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with that.
Keep the passing game going. Man, this chat's going really well. We're almost out of stuff to talk about for the subject matter of the day, but we got to promote this page. I'm not going to end the show. I just want to say shout out to the guys in the chat. Both the Erics, Sean is in there, Tommy Gunn, Johnny Green, Dorian Foley was in there at the beginning. Ruben's in here with us. Thanks for commenting, man. You guys are making this more interactive. This is why we want to go to the YouTube format. You always hear me talk about it at the end of the show. If you make it to the end of the show, thank you.
If you've made it this far.
Yeah. Once you make it this far down the line in the podcast, you understand, we try to do the little promotion at the end. Maybe we can start doing it at the beginning, but we've already evolved from an audio show to a video show now, and now we're doing it live, and it's only going to get better because of you guys. So thank you for that. If you really, really want to help us out, you need to share this, and I'll post it every week on the page so people will read it, and hopefully they'll click on it. But thanks for clicking. Subscribe to it. That's the biggest thing. Just hit the subscribe button. All it takes is 3 seconds, and, you'll get every update that we do on the show since you like it. And it's a whole lot easier for you, too. It'll be easily accessible because I think you'll get an email or a notification, of when we do the show and when we're going live and all that stuff. But, yeah, man, for a bye week and a show for the bye week, it's not too terrible. It's not too dry. I hate that we had crap going on with negativity, and can't believe they kind of hid the George Edwards thing, but
Yeah,
all
it
we're
happens.
5-0, man. We have a lot to be excited about, and like I said, this schedule is favorable, and we've got a team that it's like, hey, you can throw whatever at us. We're still going to come in and try to beat the crap out of you. So I really, really love this team.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of the best Vikings defenses that we have ever seen, at least in recent years. You're comparing it to some of the historical teams from way back when, Purple People years. That's hard to do. We got to wait until it's all said and done. And
Right.
see what happens before we get to that point. But man, through these first 5 games, what I'm seeing, this defense is every bit as good as the ones that we had. Rock and Jared Allen and Kevin and Pat Williams and Antoine Winfield and all of those guys. And the thing about this defense that I like much better is I have much more faith in the coaching staff and the players are well, they're less concerned about overall personal stats. Everson Griffin, I don't think is concerned about leading the league in sacks or breaking the sack record. Like
Right.
he doesn't give a shit. He just wants the team to win. And I don't want to knock Jared Allen. Jared Allen's one of my favorite Vikings of all time. But Jared Allen wanted to break the sack record. And, hey, that sack record was what got us through a really bad season where we didn't have anything else to talk about. But it was essentially, here's the rest of the defense, and then 69 gets to rush the quarterback like every play because he's trying to break records.
Right.
There's not that superstar kind of mentality on this defense. Like Everson doesn't care. Everson just wants to win. And that's why I think that this team in particular can really do something special because there's a team mentality that's going on here, and that will take them deep into the playoffs.
That's what like great coaching is, and I know we ride the Mike Zimmer train, but I'm not going to hop off of that anytime soon. Eric, man, I'm right there with you. Eric Spink says, "Is it Sunday yet? This is the longest 2 weeks ever." Isn't it crazy?
I know.
When we sucked, it seemed like the bye weeks flew by, but now we want to watch the team. Even though we've got a target on our back, now it's like, man, can we play again? Captain Munderland said that recently in one of the videos on the Viking app. I was like, oh man, I'm bummed. It's like we want to keep playing. I was like, yeah, well, that's good to know. I don't know if Sharif Floyd's going to be back. We hope Stephon Diggs is going to be there. I think that was really the extent of the big injuries that we were looking at. So if we can get the whole first team squad going on both sides of the ball, man, it's going to be on in Philadelphia. They have nothing in mind of what's really going to happen if this goes on all cylinders. I see us frustrating Carson Wentz very, very much. And that's not to say he's not a good quarterback. I think Sam Bradford comes in on a much minor scale. But like you remember, Brett Favre came back when we played Green Bay. I think the whole reason he came to Minnesota was to beat Green Bay. And I think it's going to be something like that. He has a point to prove. You got to remember they drafted this guy earlier in the year. Sam Bradford said, I want to play for you guys. You drafted a freaking rookie. I know what that means. And, you draft a rookie first or second overall. He's coming in to start as soon as freaking possible. So
this defense has confused the hell out of Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning, Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think this game coming up is a bit of a trap game against the Eagles based on a number of factors. It's gonna be tougher. Don't write them out. But Carson Wentz better be doing his homework because this defense is going to throw some shit at him that he's probably not seen yet in his short NFL career, and that will make it very difficult for him.
That's the in-depth analysis preview of the game this Sunday at the Eagles. I'm going to try to – let me get on the Vikings app real quick. I'll tell you what network that's on just for your guys' knowledge. So, yeah, we have the Eagles. Then we're at the Bears. The Lions come to us, and then we're at the Redskins. It's not telling me. Of course it's not when I want to look it up and tell me what channel it's going to be on. I want to say it'll be Fox or CBS. It's got to be one of the two. Sorry I don't have that for you. My resources are not helping me out with that. But, yeah, that's the preview coming up for Sunday. Should be a very interesting game. Kind of the quarterback battle, even though you wouldn't really think that with Carson Wentz being a rookie. But seeing as how they were on the same team, 2 months ago, it's going to be interesting. But I don't know, man. That's all I've got this week. Do you have anything else? Because I'm running out.
We've been going for the length of Hellraiser here in the background. The movie's almost over.
If you guys see that, happy soon to be Halloween. Kyle West has got it going.
So I think that's probably no Joe Buck this game. That's always positive.
Dude, I watched the Cubs game the other night with my best friend here in Virginia.
He brought up Aaron Rodgers,
and he didn't bring up Aaron Rodgers. Just the sound of his voice made me want to hurl myself off a cliff. I was like, oh, God, can you get anybody more annoying? I used to hate Chris Collinsworth. I actually can stand him now that I've listened to Joe Buck a number of times.
Oh, I have to read this comment. Talk about how bad Aaron Rodgers is playing. Wow, laughing my ass off. Some of the excuses coming out of Cheeseville. I agree with you on that one. It has been funny listening to all the media.
Worst completion percentage in the NFL. It's very odd. I don't know what's going on up there, but
there's a stat that says that Johnny Manziel had a better completion percentage than what Aaron Rodgers has right now. I actually read an interesting article. Not to bring up Deflategate because no one wants to talk about it, but what the hell were at the end of the show? Aaron Rodgers was one of the quarterbacks that actually liked to overinflate the football a little bit and have more PSI inside of it. And because of Deflategate, they've like cracked down on this. And so the rumor mill out there is that he's not having the type of football that he's used to throwing. And that actually may be in part why his completion percentage is down from what it had been previously.
That would be interesting.
Interesting little thing to think about, isn't it?
That would be interesting if that does come out to be true.
Yeah.
And just from what I've seen and what I think that his game plan has just been figured out. He improvises way too damn much, and he's too talented to have to do that. He's got the arm, he's got the accuracy, but he tries to do way too much. He tries too much to make the whole offense be about what he wants to do on the fly. Instead of, I think he should just do pre-planned, predetermined routes and just dumb it down a little bit, because him getting out of the pocket every single time, it's going to make the receivers it's going to make them break routes, have to run back, have to run the opposite way. And he's been playing dangerous for a while, and it's been pretty good for him. But I think he's finally been figured out, and he's going to have to figure out his game plan. And I think it's funny, but all of us think that it's funny because he's not having success.
Yeah, it is funny. Green Bay is also a team that's getting older. Some of their star players are getting older as well, too. And they've historically done a really good job of drafting talent and like spending no money on free agency. I'll make a little bit of a bold prediction about that. I think maybe this will be the off season for Green Bay, that if they don't quite finish the way that that they're expecting, that you will see them go out and spend a little bit of money to bring in some free agents, whether it be some skill players, some a wide receiver or a running back, or a tight end or something like that, because they're a smart team, they're a smart franchise. They're good. They understand that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be around forever, so it's kind of win now for them mode with Rodgers. So stick some talent around him and see what they can get. That's my analysis from Green Bay, as from afar.
Eric
for what it's worth.
Grendel. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but Eric got us talking about that. So, man, it's. I hate to. I don't want.
We like to. You know what? We like to analyze football here at the podcast.
Yeah.
We only talk Vikings, but I mean, we follow all the teams in the NFL, and when it comes to especially division rivals, I try to pay attention to what the other teams are doing, and so I could. Talk about whatever team you guys want to.
We talk about anything you guys talk about in the chat, as long as we can say it out loud on the show. But that's all I got, man. Here's my link right here, and I put it on for everyone for the YouTube channel. Go up there. When you click on our page, this is the Facebook link. If you don't like us on Facebook, you should. If you want to switch out Facebook.com and put YouTube in there, hit subscribe. It literally takes you 3 seconds. We need 1,000 subscribers before we can start picking up the ball and rolling it here. But we're picking up steam. I think eventually we'll get there once we talk about it enough. But Adam Carlson's not here. I always do the promotion for him when he's not around. He writes for the VikingAge.com. You can have it on the fan-sided app delivered right to your smartphone, or if you like to use your PC or Mac at home, thevikingage.com. He's a writer there, all kinds of Viking articles. He couldn't be with us tonight because he's out busy and he's got a lot of other stuff going on besides the podcast, but he'll be back next week. Check his stuff out if you're a Walking Dead fan. I know they just got another season renewed. I believe he told us in a personal message. So The Walking Dead is going to be on for at least another season. He also writes about that at Undead Walking. Check it out, man. He's got some good stuff. He's a really talented guy. My guy Kyle West over here is talented as well. You should check out some of his photography. And if you wanted to buy some stuff, where can I get that from?
I was reading Analyze Football Equals Trash Talk the Packers. Um, hey, you know what? I think we gave a fair sort of analysis of them. They're kind of
We try to keep it semi-classy here.
yeah, yep. We could. Anyway, you can buy my shit over at KyleWestPhotography.com. I have Viking stuff. I have just all kinds of stuff. You can check it out. And everyone's making a big deal out of the moon recently for some reason. Well, I got all kinds of cool photos. And yeah, so check it out and see what I got.
It's awesome, man. I'm a musician on the side. It's facebook.com, SK8KOW, read Skate Cow with a K. I do a lot of covers and play guitar on the side. I was a singer in a couple bands, so doing that. I just want to let everybody know I will be in Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend. If you care, if you listen, if you watch, I'm going to visit my family. I will officially be moved and a resident of El Paso, Texas, beginning next weekend when we gear up for the Monday night game against the Bears. I have to be in El Paso by that night on Halloween. That's my report date. So if any Vikings fans somehow hear this and you live in El Paso, find me, send me a message, send the podcast page a message. We will go watch games together. I just want to tell you guys that. So I'll be relocating from Virginia to Texas. But that's the big news for me for the week. I'm excited. I've had a lot of fun here in Virginia, a lot of memories, a lot of great people I've met. And I'm on the road here in a couple of days, actually 3 days from now. So that's all I got for me, man. If you got nothing else, I'm going to sign it off for us.
I looked really quick. We are up to 311 subscribers, which is up, geez, probably 25 or 30 more from the last time that I checked. So that means you guys are doing your part. So remember to invite. I know you guys all probably know a dozen other Vikings fans that would like this podcast.
Yeah.
Send them the links. Get them to.
Yeah, absolutely. Share it with your friends. All you need is one of your friends to click it and share it, and then it's just a domino and the snowball effect. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening. I know it's a bye week. It sucks, but we got the Eagles coming up on Sunday. And we'll have a podcast up hopefully the day after or 2 days after, and like we always do. But
maybe that night.
Yeah, maybe that night. I have nothing going on, so if Adam's free, we'll do it, man. If you're free, I'll definitely do it that night. I love the game.
Me too.
Yeah, you guys stay safe this weekend. Enjoy your upcoming Halloween festivities. They're going to be around pretty soon. And if you got nothing else, man, stay classy, Minnesota.